things are, in fact, different now. So the way I pick who I get married to in this game is a very long and arduous process. As we all know, marriage is permanent in this game, and once you get married, you are, in fact, married forever. So it's important to really think about the long-term choices of picking your spouse. And after lots of thought, lots of planning, Leah happened to be the first character I got to 8 hearts with. This save file will be going on for a while. Perfection is a long journey. I will probably marry a few characters on my journey to perfection, and that is okay. But things are different. They are different in many ways. And things are different in the sense that the game is done. I have beaten Stardew Valley. On the 11th of summer, in year 2, I officially beat the game by completing the community center. However, as you are probably quite aware of, completing the community center is only the beginning of the post-game. And that's what Ginger Island is. It's the post-game. Let me make something clear. I'm no stranger to elaborate post-games. My favorite franchise of all time is Pokemon, a franchise known for having some very elaborate post-games. But it's important to understand that once you get to the post-game, for many people, the rules that bound them to the main campaign start to get bent. What am I saying? I don't like going through Ginger Island trying to collect all the golden walnuts. Don't get me wrong, I do try to go through and collect them. However, there gets to a point where it's not just a matter of principle, it becomes a matter of enjoyment. I want to enjoy the process of collecting all the golden walnuts. But I'm not gonna lie, by the time I have made it to Ginger Island, collecting all the golden walnuts just feels like another grind I'm forced to go through. In many ways to me, the Ginger Island plotline feels very similar to the Looker missions in Pokemon. You do the quest because you have to, but if you could cut it out of the story, you don't feel like you're missing much. Oh, and if you look at that, Generation 8 and 9 did in fact cut the Looker mission out. So when I discovered that you could just bypass the whole process of collecting golden walnuts by using Joja, and I could just buy them, this did in fact change my opinion of Ginger Island. And I'm sure some people watching this video would call this cheating. I would like to propose an alternative phrase: using all of my resources I have to my benefit. And at the end of it all, regardless of if you would call using Joja services as cheating or not, it's about what makes the game enjoyable for you, the player. For me, this is what I find enjoyable. I don't want to have to build up Ginger Island. I just want to use Ginger Island. That's the part that I find enjoyable. Another thing I have been finding enjoyable is, in fact, these videos. There's something interesting about breaking down the activities that I'm doing in the game and just putting them in the light. I've watched videos, movies, quite frankly, of people playing Stardew Valley, but while challenges have always existed, just finding raw numbers of activities in the game are just harder to come by. And I hope that the series can be more of the start of people also interested just seeing the raw information that the game has to offer as well. Raw information that I care about and have made painfully aware of in this series is my obsession with fishing in this game. Fishing is so genuinely interesting to me. Mainly because when I first started playing Stardew Valley 8 years ago, I sucked at it. I was bad. I was so bad at fishing that I had fished maybe a total of 5 times in my first playthrough. Now, clearly, I have since changed my opinion on fishing, and it has led to this obsession, leading to this whole video series. And that's okay. For some people, they might not like fishing, but they have a farm layout that supports 2,000 to 3,000 crops a month because they like farming. For others, they might not care about farming, but if there's a quest on the board, they're going to be doing it. And that's one of the beauties of Stardew Valley. So, during the summer, I managed to fish up a total of 165 fish. And this is very middle of the road for what I have managed to catch in previous months. My low end was 98 and my high end was 241. This puts me right in the middle of both ends. The total amount of fish that I caught so far is 1,042. Fish is made up 65% of what I caught during the month. From crab pots, I caught 21 fish, making 8% of everything I caught for the month. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just really bad at remembering to bait my crab pots. But as I go to Ginger Island more frequently, I'm hoping that I can remember to bait my crab pots more often. Consumables, things like algae and seaweed, made up 24% of everything I caught, catching 60 for the month. And finally, I caught 7 jellies, making up 3% of everything I caught for the month. And then in addition to just adding numbers to this, I was really focused on trying to be able to complete collections. So I prioritized fishing what I missed year one. So this includes things like the legend fish for the season, the octopus, some crab pot fish, and the lava eel. Okay, let's talk about the mines. I've played Pokemon. I know what it's like to have to search for a low chance encounter. I shiny hunted a Bagon in Ultra Sun and Moon from that first area you spawn. You know the one. It has a 1% encounter rate in the area it spawns. Sure, it took a while, but it was fine. The grind was tolerable. I had 2 different grinds this month that involved the mines that were worse than any shiny hunt I had ever done for a Pokemon game. That was the grind for the lava eel and the grind for door scroll number 4. According to the Stardew Valley wiki, at level 10 fishing, the farthest you cast the line, the lava eel has a 5.4 chance to spawn. I fished up 29 pieces of trash and 2 cave jellies before I was able to catch a lava eel. I had an 80% chance of getting one before then. Sure, that was annoying, especially since that was the second day I had spent trying to find one. But then it came time to try to find dwarf scroll number 4. The wiki says that there is a 0.2% chance to find it every time you dig up the dirt after level 80. So I sit on floor 101 and reset the dirt to try and dig it up. I do these activities for 3 days over the summer. I find a green strange doll, an item with a 0.03% chance to be found before I found the scroll. And I was in fact starting to lose my mind. At the end of it though, I was able to find the scroll, allowing me to have finally donated all the necessary items to talk to the dwarf. That also means I only have 4 artifacts left to donate. And minerals? I only got 3 left. That means I am 92% of the way done. 7 items left. Unfortunately, for me, this means that I can either hold off and just wait until I RNG my way into them, or I can grind for them, using things like the treasure totem for artifacts or floor reset in the mines until I get a high density of geodes to hopefully get them. In a situation like this, it's generally better, or at least more efficient, of your resources to use geodes that have the smallest encounter table that includes your targets. This means that for the few minerals I have left to find, it's generally going to be better for me to break frozen or magma geodes in order for me to get what I need instead of omni geodes. These are, however, a little harder to obtain than omni geodes. So these are some factors to consider if you find yourself in a similar position. Finally, to wrap up this edition, I'm going into fall with well over 1 million gold in my pocket. Not only do I got well over 1 million G in pocket, I'm working with over a total of 3.4 million gold as well. Over the summer, I earned 1,564,866 gold. If we take this number and we divide it by the number of days in the season, that leaves us with a daily gold return of 55,888 gold. If we compare it to last season's DGR of 29,237, we can see that more money was made. In fact, we had an increase of 190%, almost double what we made per day last season. I will say, however, I don't expect this number to increase significantly beyond this point. It will still go up. However, by probably winter of this season, I do believe that instead of seeing these significant jumps where I'm nearly doubling the money that I'm making, they're going to taper off and probably taper off quickly. But who knows? I would love to be wrong on this prediction. And that is exactly what I am excited to see going on in the future. But that is all for this video. If you made it this far, please click that like button and make sure you subscribe if you want to know more about the numbers behind Stardew Valley. I have a few videos that I'm working on right now going into depth as some of the topics that I talked about in these videos, so stay tuned. Until next time, however, stay safe and have fun farming.